And now, the general weather around Alaska.
Welcome to Alaska Weather. I'm meteorologist Peter Chan, coming to you from the National Weather Service in Alaska region on this Friday, the last day of February 28th, 2025. And if you'd like additional weather information on top of what I provide in this YouTube video, you can go to weather.gov. That is the National Weather Service's online presence. It'll bring you to a web page with the continental U.S. prominently displayed, and we'll have also Alaska and Hawaii to the lower left, and you can point and click on these tabs for the territories. And if you select any location on these maps, it'll give a very specific forecast for anywhere in the nation, including any relevant watches, warnings, or advisories. And a quick check of the map on this Friday afternoon. Of note, we have downwind of the Great Lakes with some colder air. We have lake effect snows and some winter weather advisories and winter storm warnings. As a result of that, some locally moderate to heavy snow falling there. And then this area in kind of magenta, these are red flag warnings for critical fire weather conditions, mainly wind and dry conditions. We also have that in southern Arizona. So here in the Midwest, drier weather, not a whole lot of snowfall this winter. So again, fueling early fire season potential at least. And something I want to point out for next week, there's going to be a very potent system that will likely result in a severe weather outbreak that could include nighttime tornadoes. And that would impact this area here of the middle lower Mississippi Valley. And that would be Tuesday next week, March 4th into the overnight hours of March 4th and 5th. So this region here could be under the gun for quite a severe weather outbreak, so stay tuned to later forecasts. And here in Alaska, blizzard warning, ground blizzard conditions, Point Hope to Point Lay. Things should begin to improve later tonight and certainly during the day Saturday, but gusty winds are causing a considerable amount of blowing, drifting snow in that area, not uncommon. Now, for areas of the West Coast and interior, throughout the weekend, there will be periods of light to moderate snow. Most of the snow will be light, 1 to maybe 4 inches, but if you get some upslope along some terrain, you could get some locally heavier amounts of perhaps 6 to 8 inches, and I'll show you that area in a moment. And then there have been sub-zero temperatures along the Arctic coast, along the upper Chukchi Sea coast and Beaufort Sea coastlines, and those sub-zero temperatures there will gradually moderate and warm as we go through the weekend into early next week. And it still looks like we're going to have above normal temperatures and precipitation for early March, especially across eastern, southern, and southeast portions of the state. And looking at some of the FAA webcams, Point Lay, that ground blizzard conditions, you can see it's pretty shallow, the blowing, drifting snow. Air temperature, though, 22 degrees below zero with winds gusting over 30 miles an hour there. Selawik, picking up a little bit of light snow, 16 degrees. Selawik, you're in one of those locations that are going to see periods of light to maybe moderate snow at times through the course of the weekend. So look for some additional light accumulations. And then Talkeetna, partly sunny, a balmy 43 degrees there as you go up the Susitna Valley. Pretty nice and mild there. Juneau, dealing with some light rain and fog, temperature nearing 40 degrees. Further up the line there in the northern parts of the Panhandle, the heavier snow is ended, but the Klondike Highway around Skagway only got about an inch of snow, but as you go up the highway toward White Pass, as much as 6 to 8 inches of snow fell there in the higher elevations. But that winter storm warning has been allowed to expire. So only thing we have really going on right now is this blizzard warning for the ground blizzard conditions from Point Lay down to Point Hope, and that's in effect until at least 3 a.m. Saturday morning. Conditions should gradually improve here as we get through the day Saturday. And then this area in blue is just a special weather statement. We're going to have periods of light to moderate snow coming across the southwest and western interiors and along the west coast this weekend into early Monday, all because of a feed of moisture coming up with a couple of low pressure systems lifting out of the North Pacific. So that's what's going to cause that. Most of the snowfall amounts in the 1 to 4 inch range, but if you got any type of enhancement, like you're going up here along the NOAA Valley, going upslope along the south-facing slopes of the Brooks Range, there could be some enhancement there, or the Nulato Hills could have some enhancement. So that's just something to keep in mind. Avalanche danger is considerable. Here in areas of the eastern Kenai, we have Turnagain Pass, as well as Moose Pass and Summit Lake areas. And then to the east toward Valdez, you get in the mountains there, up through Thompson Pass. The avalanche danger will likely continue to be elevated there, considerable avalanche risk as we go into the early weekend. So satellite imagery, we have one area of low pressure is going to be pulling up here into the lower Gulf tonight and early Saturday. Another system coming up out of the North Pacific that's going to take moisture in this direction. And so as a result, most of the action for the course of the weekend, early next week, is going to be out over here. So here's that low by early Saturday morning, kind of just along the North Pacific Gulf interface with this front. Could just bring in some additional showers, rain showers at sea level, lower elevations, but some snow showers in the intercoastal mountains. And then here comes, there's 1 week low crossing Bristol Bay. This trough, just kind of a focus for some of that patchy light snow. But this will bring in some more moisture over the course of the weekend. Saturday afternoon, we have that low weakening in the northeastern Gulf with a trough. And again, just keeping some lighter showers going along the Gulf Coast into the Panhandle. But here comes the next low with another feed of moisture coming in across the Alaska Peninsula. This low will cross there Saturday night into early Sunday. Then by the time we get into Sunday, that low Sunday afternoon, that low will have crossed Bristol Bay up into the southwest interior with some areas of light to occasionally moderate snow along the west coast and inland. So that's why we have just the forecast there for these periods of light to moderate snow, nothing too terribly heavy. And looking ahead to Monday, there's yet another system. We still have some troughiness lagging here just west of the Alaska range. There could be some patchy light snow still associated with that. But the thing is, by the time we start to get into next week, the systems are going to start, instead of going north to south, they're going to start to go more southwest to northeast. And this will be the kicker that helps that happen. This stronger low, 964 low, just southwest of the western Aleutians, will be coming in with this front that's going to help just kind of push everything more northeastward then and shift up the storm track a bit, making things more active in the Gulf, especially for the Panhandle, for the latter half of this next week. So cold temperatures still. We're looking at teens and 20s below zero here along the North Slope Arctic coast Saturday morning. Some isolated 0 degree readings in for the interior, but otherwise most temperatures staying below freezing with the exception of parts of the Panhandle down along the western Gulf Coast. Even could get down a bit below freezing in a few areas of the Alaska Peninsula. And then highs Saturday afternoon, still sub-zero North Slope and along the Arctic coast. We could get readings into well into the 40s, outer Panhandle, say Sitka down through Klawock. We could see 40-degree temperatures in Anchorage, 42, 43 again, Talkeetna, 45 Homer. So still mild temperatures here over south central, especially along and south of the Alaska range. For Sunday morning, still cold up there along the Arctic coast and the North Slope, but not quite as cold as the past couple of days. We've seen some readings around 37 below. I believe that was the state's coldest temperature up there around Dead Horse. So still some sub-zero readings along the Bering Strait to Savunga there on the north side of St. Lawrence Island. Sunday afternoon, we're still looking at relatively mild temperatures here, south central, southeast mainland, and back through the Panhandle. Could even squeak out a 50-degree reading perhaps. But again, things are going to be not as wet across the Panhandle Sunday into early next week. You're going to get a little bit of a break here. Not as wet as we expect. Temperatures going up along Kodiak Island, the western Kenai up into the Susitna Valley. We're looking at some temperatures that could be above 40 degrees. And then the outlook, 6 to 10 day temperature outlook, taking us now beyond the first week of March 6th through the 10th, still shows above normal temperatures over the eastern mainland, especially focused along areas like Fairbanks, Northway, Anchorage, eastward, with pretty good chance of above normal temperatures over the northeastern Gulf Coast and northern Panhandle. There is an indication it'll be a little cooler than normal along the west coast from just off of Utqiagvik, Wainwright down through Kotzebue, Nome, and on through, say, the lower Yukon Delta, including Imanak and Makoriak. As again, we go through that period of March 6th through the 10th. Precipitation could average a bit above normal across much of the mainland, but mainly along and south of the Alaska Range, including the Talkeetna Mountains, Copper River Valley, Kenai Peninsula, Anchorage Bowl, Lower Mat-Su Valleys, and then back here across all of the Panhandle. It's looking like a little more active weather pattern at times, bringing in the weather systems up into the Gulf and then impacting this area of the southeast mainland and into the Panhandle.